Historically, one of the great predictors of who is going to win a general election is enthusiasm. So, the level of enthusiasm that voters have for either candidate. The person that has the most enthusiasm tends to win the election. Obviously, because they're able to bring out more people. More people are willing to come out on election day and vote for that person. Well, it's not looking good for Joe Biden. I'm going to show you the numbers here, and I'm also going to put it in context in terms of history. And I will give you one potential glimmer of hope for Democrats here if Biden is the nominee. That is not based on Biden at all, but simply on the situation that the country is in right now. So let me first show you the numbers here. This is from ABC News, Washington Post. So Trump supporters in enthusiasm, very enthusiastic, 53%, somewhat enthusiastic, 32%, not enthusiastic, 14%. Biden supporters, very enthusiastic, 24%, somewhat enthusiastic, 49%, not enthusiastic, 26%. Putting it in graph form makes it even more clear about the problem that Democratic voters, that the Democratic Party is faced with. This is pretty damn good for a president who is crazy. This is not good. And in fact, Biden's numbers are even worse than Hillary's. So let me give you some extra context here from ABC News. There's deja vu in these results. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton found herself in largely the same position 4 years ago. She, too, had a slim lead among Democrats for the nomination and ran essentially evenly with Trump among registered voters. And she lagged in enthusiasm, with a low of 32% very enthusiastic in September 2016. Biden is 8 points under that mark now. Biden, 8 points under Hillary Clinton's lowest point in enthusiasm. This is the problem with running a centrist, a so-called centrist candidate, in reality, a neoliberal candidate, a corporate Democrat. You don't excite the base. People are not excited about Joe Biden. Now, as I was saying, actually, before I even say this, if it was Bernie Sanders, who can still win the nomination, this race isn't over. If Bernie dominates all the upcoming states, he can still win the nomination. But if it's Bernie Sanders, the enthusiasm would be high because Bernie speaks to the base. He speaks to a lot of younger voters, a lot of people that maybe normally don't vote, but are now in the Democratic Party, people under 45, even in states that Bernie lost to Biden in big numbers. Bernie beats Biden with voters under 45. Still, even in big losses, he still beats Biden with younger voters. And again, younger voters doesn't just mean in their 20s. Voters under 45, Bernie wins every state. So these are the people that you need to come out in a general election to win. Now, the one potential saving grace here for Joe Biden. This is an election that a lot of people over 45 that are coming out for Joe Biden in this primary, a lot of those people maybe didn't vote in 2016. And now they're going to come out and vote for Biden because they hate Trump. Not because they like Biden, but because they want to vote against Donald Trump. So back in 2016, if you can put your mind back to that year, a lot of people did not think, most people did not think Trump could win the presidency. So even a lot of Democrats, people, again, reliable voters, generally over 45, a lot of those people that maybe didn't care for Hillary too much or didn't, a lot of these people, Democratic voters, thought that Hillary was going to win regardless because they could not imagine Donald Trump actually winning the presidency. So they didn't come out and vote for Hillary Clinton because they just thought she was going to win. This time, those people that didn't come out, a lot of those people may come out this time and vote for Joe Biden to vote against Donald Trump. But the problem still is that, are they going to come out in the right states? Are they going to come out in the Rust Belt where Biden actually needs to win in terms of winning the Electoral College. So if you have someone like a Bernie Sanders who is bringing out a lot of new voters, a lot of young voters out to vote, a lot of enthusiasm, then you have a great shot at winning those swing states. When it comes to Biden, because enthusiasm is so low, there's no guarantees there. And a little more here, because this shows you how bad these numbers are. Bad as Biden's enthusiasm score is, we've seen worse. As few as 17% of former Republican presidential nominee and Arizona Senator John McCain supporters were very enthusiastic about his candidacy in 2008. And former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney saw 23% in 2012. The poor omen for Biden is that Clinton, McCain, and Romney all lost. So, yeah, you could say, well, John McCain had worse numbers. Mitt Romney had worse numbers. Sure, they also lost the race. So that's no defense of Joe Biden here. It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. A little more context here. This, I'll just read the whole tweet. Strong enthusiasm for Joe Biden among his supporters, just 24%, is the lowest on record for a Democratic presidential candidate in 20 years of ABC Washington Post polls. The lowest for a candidate for the Democrats in 20 years. Not looking good. And you might wonder, but why? Why aren't voters excited about Joe Biden? Let me give you just a little taste. This was Biden's recent appearance. This was posted by Sean King. A recent appearance from Joe Biden on MSNBC. Listen to what he has to say here.
And in order to avoid those very high numbers, we have to do at least several things. One, we have to depend on what the president's going to do right now. And first of all, he has to wait till the cases before anything happens. Look, the whole idea is he's got to get in place things that were shortages of.
Who wouldn't be excited about Joe Biden? I mean, this man is incredibly coherent. If there's one thing that we all know about Joe Biden, is that he's incredibly coherent. He knows exactly what he's talking about. He is a true leader. Enthusiasm's going to go even lower. I mean, we're talking, that's how low the enthusiasm is right now during a crisis where the president is screwing up. Right now, Biden's enthusiasm is the lowest. It's lower than Hillary Clinton's. How about when the media actually becomes focused? If, again, Biden wins the nomination, when the media gets focused on Trump versus Biden, and Biden's in the spotlight again and again, on television even more, you really think this enthusiasm is going to go up? Now, again, it may not matter. It may not matter because this is a very weird time right now, a very odd election coming up where there are a lot of potential Democratic voters that really hate this president and want to vote against him and will vote for, a ham sandwich over Donald Trump. So it may not matter. Biden may win anyways. But why the hell are you taking this risk? Wouldn't it make a lot more sense to support a candidate, to vote for a candidate that actually brings enthusiasm out in people, that makes people want to come out and vote, that brings out a lot of young people that wouldn't normally vote but would vote for Bernie Sanders in a general election? So they're taking a risk. I think Biden is very likely to lose, as I say again and again. But the only thing that can potentially save him is that people really hate Donald Trump. Is it going to be enough? Who knows?